Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Pascal Ibgui scars daughter after Racy golden bachelorette date. Joan Vasso's suitors left little to the imagination on the last episode of the Golden Bachelorette. Pascal Ibgui's daughter took to social media to react to her dad's Racy date. Why did it scar her for life? Keep reading for all the details. Racy golden bachelorette date shocks fans. Joan Vasso's admitted to lying to her family ahead of her golden bachelorette journey. She promised not to kiss anyone on TV, but as viewers know, she's broken that promise several times already. But a group date on the last episode of the reality show took things a step beyond kissing. Several of her suitors bared it all in a Racy striptease date. Sure, it was to raise money for Stand Up to Cancer, but some viewers were shocked by the men stripping down. But not necessarily in a bad one. One viewer took to Reddit to praise how fit the older men were. They wrote, "Many of them had better abs than I've seen on 20-year-olds." Another viewer agreed and singled out frontrunner Pascal Ibgui. Right? I don't love Pascal, but he has quite the torso for a 69-year-old man. But a third fan was grossed out by Jonathan's behavior. They wrote, "And then Jonathan presents Joan with his golden panties." Pascal Ibgui's daughter scarred after watching. Count Pascal Ibgui's daughter, Natalie Cristal, was one viewer not looking forward to the Racy date. She took to social media before the episode aired. She joked that seeing her dad as a Chippendale dancer would scar her. She said that she'd never look at her dad the same again. However, she did agree with his fans that his abs look fantastic. His daughter revealed his secret to abs at his age. She said that he goes to the gym constantly, even while on vacation. She chalked the abs up to commitment. Sweet photo of dad and daughter. Despite bearing his abs, his daughter seems to be proud of her dad for joining the Golden Bachelorette. She shared a throwback picture from her childhood. The sweet photo shows a younger Pascal Ibgui with gorgeous brown hair and a scruffy beard holding his daughter while they were swimming in a pool. The Golden Bachelorette has turned into a surprising hit, redefining love for a generation that's often overlooked in the fast-paced dating world. Among the suitors is Pascal Ibgui, a man whose journey on the show has captivated audiences, not only for his suave charm but also for his deep emotional scars, which were unexpectedly brought to light after a steamy date on national television. However, behind the scenes, the fallout of that revealing episode was more personal. Pascal's daughter, who has stood by her father through thick and thin, found herself struggling with her own emotions as old wounds reopened. Pascal's date with the Bachelorette wasn't just a moment of romance for the cameras. It was raw, evocative, and for some, borderline scandalous. The setting was perfect. An intimate dinner by candlelight, the soft sounds of jazz in the background, and a glass of wine that seemed to bring out the vulnerability in both Pascal and his date. The conversation was light at first, touching on life experiences, family, and love. But as the night progressed, the tone shifted. The two opened up in a way neither expected, discussing regrets, pain, and the love they still hoped to find. As the camera zoomed in, you could feel the palpable chemistry between them. It was undeniable. The tension built, and when the moment came, Pascal made a bold move, leaning in for a kiss that left fans talking for days. The kiss wasn't just any kiss. It was passionate, unrestrained, and filled with a fire that most wouldn't expect from someone on the golden edition of the show. Social media lit up with reactions, and the date was hailed as one of the most daring moments in the history of the franchise. But for Pascal's daughter, Emma, this wasn't just entertainment, it was personal. The father she knew, the man who had raised her with love and patience, was suddenly the subject of a different kind of attention. Emma was no stranger to her father's history, his painful divorce from her mother, his struggles with self-esteem, and the scars that lingered from years of emotional wounds. But seeing him in such an intimate light on national television was a shock she hadn't been prepared for. Emma had always admired her father's resilience. Growing up, she knew Pascal as a strong figure, but also someone who bore invisible scars from a past he rarely talked about. His divorce from her mother was tough on both of them, and Emma had been there through it all, watching as he picked up the pieces of his broken heart. Pascal had thrown himself into being a devoted father, prioritizing Emma above all else, putting his personal life on the back burner to ensure she had the stability she needed. But there was always something more to his pain. The kind of hurt that ran deep, shaped by feelings of inadequacy and a fear of not being enough. Emma knew this, though they never spoke about it. It was as if the scars were understood but never acknowledged aloud. When Pascal decided to join the Golden Bachelorette, Emma had been supportive, though wary. She wanted her father to be happy, to find the love he so deserved. At the same time, she feared that being thrust into the public eye might trigger old wounds that had never truly healed. And then came the date. For many viewers, it was a sizzling romantic evening. For Emma, it was a window into her father's past, a past he had tried so hard to move on from. The kiss, the passion, the vulnerability Pascal showed reminded Emma of the stories he had once shared with her about her mother. Stories filled with the same intensity, the same longing for connection that ultimately left him heartbroken. After the episode aired, Emma found herself flooded with emotions she couldn't quite place. She was proud of her father for putting himself out there, but she also felt protective, even possessive. Watching him so exposed made her feel like she was watching a wound being reopened on national television for the world to see. Her phone buzzed incessantly with messages from friends who had seen the episode, all eager to discuss the hot date her father had just been on. Emma smiled politely, trying to keep the conversation light, but inside, she was reeling. The truth was, seeing her father like this had unsettled something in her. She'd always seen him as a figure of strength, but now she saw the vulnerability he had so carefully kept hidden. In the days that followed, Pascal tried to talk to Emma about the date. He had sensed that it had affected her, but he wasn't quite sure how. Over a quiet dinner, they finally sat down to discuss it. "Dad, I'm happy for you," Emma started, choosing her words carefully. "It's just, I didn't expect to see you like that. It was so intense." Pascal sighed, taking her hand gently. "I know it must have been strange for you, Em, but I want you to know that what you saw wasn't just for the cameras. I've spent so long hiding my feelings, protecting myself from being hurt again. But that night, something clicked. I felt like I could be open, real, in a way I haven't in a long time." Emma looked down, her heart heavy. "I guess I never realized how much you were still carrying around all these years later." "I am," Pascal admitted. "But this experience is helping me work through that. It's scary, but I think it's time for me to take some risks again. I've been so focused on protecting myself and you that I forgot what it feels like to be vulnerable, to really put myself out there." Emma wiped away a tear, nodding. "I just don't want to see you get hurt again." Pascal smiled gently. "I don't either. But I also don't want to miss out on what could be the next chapter of my life. You've grown up, and I've been holding on to the past for too long. I need to let go just a little." As they sat together, the weight of the past began to lift. Pascal's scars were still there, but they were healing. And for Emma, she realized that while she would always be her father's protector, it was time to let him take control of his own happiness. The journey ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Pascal was ready to face it, scars and all. And Emma would be there, cheering him on every step of the way.